What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since my last video. I'm very sorry about that, but right now I'm here. That's the important thing, and I'm slowly starting to get into YouTube again. If you are new here, my name is Nicole. I'm a graphic designer based in the Philippines, and you can check out my work on my Instagram if you're curious. I do these videos where I take both the role of the graphic designer and the client, and I do some design branding exercises and hopefully give you some tips and tricks that help you out if you're starting out in graphic design or just want to dabble, you know. I'm very excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing an ice cream brand. By the way, before I jump into Illustrator, I want to talk a bit more about today's theme, today's inspiration. This ice cream brand is going to be inspired by Filipino ice cream because your girl is Filipino. We are representing today. So I jumped onto Pinterest and searched Filipino ice cream, and what you'll typically find is this purple ice cream. This is called ube, and if you have any plans at all to visit the Philippines, get yourself some ube ice cream. It's delicious. So get yourself some ube ice cream. But this is not going to be the inspiration for today's video. What it's going to be inspired by is something we call dirty ice cream. Yes, dirty ice cream. And I know it's not the most appetizing name, but we love it. We love it here. It's called dirty ice cream. Correct me if I'm wrong, my Filipino people out there. It's called dirty ice cream because of the notion that we think that the people selling these on the streets don't wash their hands when they sell it. So, you know, dirty ice cream, but we love it here. I searched on Google, and what comes up are these beautiful carts that this is where they typically sell their dirty ice cream. On these carts, these colorful carts, and this is going to be the main inspiration for today's ice cream brand. So let's just hop back onto Illustrator, and I'm just going to find some photos that can kind of bring this vision to life. So I'm done with the mood board, and you can see that it's very much inspired by the ice cream cart I showed you guys earlier. And to the left of this board, you can see that I put in a few words: fun, bright, and friendly, just to kind of capture the overall vibe we're going for. And my camera kind of died earlier, so I already went ahead and did the colors, but it's not the final one, so let me just go ahead and finalize these colors. Alright, so for the typography, I was thinking of using a sans serif font for this brand, and if you're like me and you get overwhelmed by the mountains of fonts you have saved up on your computer, one way to efficiently go through them is by opening your character options, which is Ctrl-T on your shortcut keys, going to filters, and then going to something called classifications. And basically, it just groups all those sans serifs together, all those serifs, all those scripts and handwritten fonts together. So it's much more easier to go through, and it saves you a lot more time. So I'm just gonna look for sans serif fonts, and we're gonna go from there. friends, and here we have the short list of fonts that I have chosen from my unhealthily large list of fonts. And you'll notice that it's very clean, it's very thick, it's very chunky, and it's very legible, which is exactly the type of look I was going for since I'm planning on creating more intricate elements, and I don't want these elements and typography to be competing against each other. So it's better to keep it simple now and then go crazy afterwards than have crazy and crazy combined. So now comes the hard part. I'm going to be choosing the top font that I'll be using moving forward, and I'll get back to you guys. So these are my top 3 choices, and I know that looking at it right now, they all look very similar, but I can assure you that I picked these out specifically because of their differences in how wide they are, how thick the letters are, and number 1 is my top choice because it's the most overall balanced looking from the rest. Alright, so brand name time. I have decided to name this brand Mamang Sorbetero, and Mamang Sorbetero just directly translates as Mr. Ice Cream Man, and it's also a song here in the Philippines, a very old song, and this song just randomly popped up in my head a few months ago. I'm gonna play it for you right now. It's just a very quirky, fun song. It made me happy, and that was the only reason this video exists. I was inspired a few months ago, so here we are. For the logo of Mamang Sorbetero, you know how KFC has Colonel Sanders, you know how McDonald's has that clown guy. I wanted an ice cream guy of my own. So I tried out a few different illustrations for the logo, and let me tell you, the lengths I had to go through before I was even remotely happy with the illustration. I'm gonna show you the time lapses of the first tries that I did, and disgusting, just disgusting.
Disgusting shit.
It was not at all what I intended it to be. That's just the reality of designing. You can never get it 100% your first try. It's always a continuous experimentation, always trying out different things before you find out what works. So this was my first attempt at creating our Ice Cream Man illustration. And you can see that this was supposed to be the inspiration, but what happened was it ended up looking a little too phallic for my liking. So I am very glad I was able to show this to a second pair of eyes, which I highly recommend you do whenever you create illustrations. And they told me straight away what they thought it looked like, so immediately this had to go. For my next attempt, I thought about using an actual person to be the representation of Mamang Sorbetero. I added some shades, but then at the end of the day, I thought he was giving a little too much Elvis Presley vibe, so we had to scrap that as well. The next idea I thought of was using an ice cream to be the actual ice cream man. And for some reason, I still thought of giving it some shades. I do not know why, but I wasn't feeling it at the end of the day, so I had to scrap this one as well. And so now we are left with the final illustration, my favorite of them all. It's kind of like a combination of both concepts. I'm still using an actual ice cream to represent the ice cream man, but now he is wearing an actual ice cream man's uniform. So if you find yourself taking longer in a certain project, just know that that's absolutely normal. We'll make mistakes, we'll get back up, but as graphic designers, at the end of the day, we have to be able to find creative solutions that solve our problems. So now that we have the logo created, I'm just going to go ahead and create some of the visuals that we need to bring this brand to life. So what I'm doing is just creating a circular border using the brand name, and then inside that, I'm planning on placing the Ice Cream Man logo. And I am just placing Mr. Sorbetero right there in the center. And I don't want him to cover up most of the letters, so as long as it's still legible, it should be good. So I'm just going to continue on creating more of the visuals here, and I will get back to you guys. Okay, so I had another idea for the visuals, which is to create some patterns based off of the illustrations found on the ice cream cart, but I'm gonna modernize it a bit and maybe use a few geometrical shapes versus hand-drawn. So the next thing I want to do is kind of incorporate some wavy lines similar to this image. And I want to create a wavy line to put on top of this red box. And the one way to do that is to go to the line tool over here, create your line. And over here in the menu above, go to Effect, go to Distort and Transform, and click Zigzag. So it does what it says it does. It zigzags the line. And you can choose to either make it smoother or use corners. And I want my ridges or number of waves to be around 4, let's say 4. And I want the size, which just means how high the waves go, to be around 6 pixels or 7. Yeah, that looks good. When you're okay with that, go to Object and then Expand Appearance. So I am just gonna drag that over here. I'm gonna fill that space out. And you can adjust the thickness of your line over here at the stroke. And I'm just gonna fill the space with the pink wavy lines we just made. If you want to kind of space these out evenly, you can go to the Align selection and then under Distribute Spacing, go to Horizontal Distribute Space. And there you go. So now I want to create some stars to fill out this empty space, and I did this already on my coffee branding video, which I highly recommend you guys to check out after watching this video. So you go to the star tool over here, click anywhere, and this selection pops out, and I just want to encode my radius 1 around 50 pixels, my radius 2 around 35, and my points to around 20. Let's see how that looks. Not bad, but I feel like our second radius can go deeper. So I'm just going to do that again and adjust my second radius to around 30. Okay, that looks much better. But just to see how it looks like if I went even more lower with my second radius, I'm going to try 25. I think I like 25 much better, but I think I'm gonna keep my points to around 15. Yeah, I think that works. And I want to divide this star, so what I'm gonna do is put a line segment in between that. Click the line, select the object, and then here at Align, I am going to click Vertical Align and Horizontal Align. So after clicking those, I'm going to go to Pathfinder and Divide. And that should divide my star. I am done with the logos, visuals, and submarks, and you can see here I've added in some photos that are very strong imagery but still are in line with the branding that we've just created in terms of colors. And I also added in some mockups here using the pattern that we've just created at the bottom. And lastly, I've included some stickers because I just think every brand should have some stickers. That's just me, unless you're too corporate, but every brand should have some stickers. So now that we're done with the visuals, I think it's time to move on to my favorite part, the mockups. And there you have it, guys. That is Mamang Sorbetero, the ice cream brand. And if you have any requests on what brands you want me to work on my next videos, please comment them down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys!